Welcome, my friend, to the Chef Lance Show. I'm Chef Lance, a professional chef, baker, and culinary school instructor. And tonight we're doing this delicious shrimp fried rice. And by the way, we're going to show you how to do this with some mise en place on prep day, how you can throw this together in way under 30 minutes and get your family fed. And you don't have to spend a lot of time in the kitchen getting hot. Okay, now I'm going to put my rice in a bowl, make it a little easier. So what I've got here is I cooked my rice yesterday, and I actually used some homemade chicken stock. And now with the homemade, there's no salt in it, no any kind of sodium whatsoever. I've got a video on that. I'll put a link to that so you can check that out. And I did not add salt to the rice. Again, we're doing a dish that's going to be heavy in sodium because of the soy sauce. And you know what? By the way, putting this on this parchment paper makes this so easy. I'm going to have to have a second. I'm going to have a second one though. To obviously that bowl's not big enough. So basically, I'm going to do the same thing with the second sheet pan, and we'll get on down the road. Part of our mise en place. Could have actually done this days ahead and dried it out. By the way, it was on the sheet pan to dry it out. You want, with fried rice, you want leftover dried out rice. So this was in the refrigerator and it got dry that way. You could do this on your prep day, days in advance, and then simply store it in a deli tainer. So I'll do the other pan and we'll get on down the road. All right, guys, this is a little mise en place. We're going to marinate the shrimp. First of all, we're going to start out with a little dark soy. Now, this is to taste, but obviously I can't taste raw shrimp, so I have to really just kind of eyeball it. Both soy, this is regular soy sauce, and these are very heavy in sodium, so we just have to be aware of that. So what I'm going to do now is toss that around, and I can tell right now, I've used a little too much soy sauce, but what I'm going to do is pull these out individually, put them in another bowl. Let me just do that right now. All right, so I've got that. When later on when we actually add the soy again to the fried rice, I will cut back on that. And I'm going to add a little red pepper flakes for a little kick. Who doesn't enjoy a little kick? Now my wife and I, we like it a little extra spicy, so I'm going to add a few more in here. And remember, it's going to be tossed in about 8 cups of cooked rice. So the fact of the matter is that rice is going to tamper down some of that heat. Starch will do that. So having said that, let's just do it. Then a little ground black pepper. Okay, I'm finished with those. All right, now I've got the marinade set. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator while we do the rest of the stuff. You could actually, if you wanted to do this the morning of, you could do that, cover it with plastic wrap or a lid, put it in the fridge, and then it's ready to go when you get home to cook. All right, guys, more mise en place. I'm ready to scramble my eggs, so I'm going to turn my wok and put a medium heat under it, and I'm going to throw in a stick of butter. Or not a whole stick, but anyway, some butter on there, and then I'm going to scramble up some eggs. Now, because this dish has so much soy sauce in it, the dark and the regular, I'm actually not going to season the eggs as I cook them. So here's my eggs. Now, what I'm wanting to do here is just kind of keep it stirring. I don't want large egg curds to develop. I'm not trying to make it tiny or anything, but I don't want it to get on the bottom and kind of get stuck. But in this case, we're going to do a hard scramble, as this is one of the main ingredients in stir-fried rice. So part of our mise en place. You can certainly do this on your prep day. Put it in one of your deli tainers, and we are done. So I'm going to pull the plate over. All right, guys, it is time to put this thing together. So what I'm going to do first, I've got my wok preheating here on a medium high. And I'll be adding, and just when it gets warm enough, I'm going to add some neutral oil to that. And we're going to saute off the shrimp that's been marinating. Again, we could have marinated that in the morning. I plan to use the shrimp shells for a shrimp stock, and that's why I save them. So there's a little bit of oil there. That's why I save them. You guys, that's the best oil ever. So I've got this. By the way, I forgot to mention when I was mise en placing this, garlic goes in there. So I remembered that. Put the minced garlic in, and so that's been marinated with it as well. So now that I've got this wok preheated, I'm going to empty this in. And what I want to do is I want to pretty quickly put these guys in a single layer. And for 1 or 2 minutes, I want to cook them that way. That way I get most of them really cooked up well. And the thing about shrimp is you really don't want to overcook it. It becomes tough. Oh, you had smell-o-vision. This smells awesome. All right. Yeah, okay. I'm going to start tossing these. See how well I can toss in this. Now, I forgot what size bag of shrimp I bought. This is a lot of shrimp. But by the time I took the peel off, it was close. No, it was about a pound, a little more than a pound and a half. I was shooting for 680 grams. Ended up with about 740. So who doesn't like a little extra shrimp? I know I do. I believe these are pretty darn close. I want to make sure that I'm not missing out on some. Don't want to eat any that are translucent. Oh, that smell is just awesome. Beautiful. Now that is a lot more rice than I was really wanting. So some of those may not go in there and they may just become Scooby snacks. So now I'm going to add a little neutral oil again. Some of my 0 acre. I'm going to add in the onions. Add in my carrots. I'm going to be sauteing those. I'm not looking to caramelize these in any way. I just want to get the onions translucent. I still want a little crunch in my carrots. So I'm not going to cook them until they're soft, but I am going to take away that raw part. Need to add a little sesame oil. Now, this a little goes a long way with this stuff, but I do love some sesame oil. That fragrance immediately hits my nose. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm going to call that good. Now, I'm going to dump in my rice. A little at a time because I want to make sure the veg are stirred into it as I go. It's a lot easier to do that a little at a time. So, all right, so now we've got rice, and as of right now, we have no seasoning in this whatsoever. Now, I'm going to come in and add my scrambled egg. And if I quit throwing food all over, it would be a good thing. Mama used to call me a bull in the china closet. I'm going to add some of the shrimp back in to see how that affects the saltiness of this. And again, let me see how this looks before I add any more of that. This is the kind of meal that you can eat on for days. You know what? I've got them. Let's just go for it. Oh, look at that. That is looking so good. Now, I'm going to grab one of my spoons. So, now, there's a little heat in that from that red pepper flakes. Now I'm going to try to get a little rice with that shrimp that's hanging on the bottom. Mm, that is so very good. So now, this is oyster sauce. You want to make sure you go down and get at the bottom, on the sides. Mmm, that oyster sauce. Mmm, don't talk with your mouth full. So I think I'm going to add a little more oyster sauce. It can use just a touch more of the soy. That's the dark soy right there. I'm going to add a little bit more oyster sauce to it. It has such great flavor. Adds some umami. Mmm. All right. I got rice all over the stove. Some regular soy sauce. And a little more oyster sauce. So the thing about leftover rice, if you don't do it that way and dry it out, it's just too wet, sticks together too much. You can see here, you've got individual kernels. It's fantastic. Oh yeah. You know, you think I'm eating a meal as much as I'm tasting, but dadgum, got to do it. Part of the, part of taking one for the team. There's a touch more soy, and I think we're home. So now, I'm going to turn the fire off, stir in the rest of that soy sauce. Then I'm going to put in my green onions that are my garnish, but I don't want them to cook through as much. And so here those are. Get those mixed in. And we are done and ready for plating. So I'll see you around the corner when we plate this thing. All right, my friend, it is my favoriteest time of day, and that is tasting time. So are you ready?
Yes, I am.
And you were saying already that I'd eaten half of it, tasting it. Well, somebody's got to do that job, but here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, you knocked my rice off. Here we go. Mmm. That is tasting good. Mmm. Happy dance. Oh, yeah. That's really good.
Very
I know what we're having for dinner tonight.
Most definitely.
My goodness, guys. And look, you do a little mise en place on prep day. You come in after work, and you just start throwing this in. You barely get your coat taken off before you're eating dinner. It's how fast this thing goes. So make this for you and your family. Let me know in the comments how well it tastes for you. And we're going to enjoy the rest of this. So remember this, a day in the kitchen beats a day of working any day. We'll see you next time on the Chef Lance Show.